Recent events such as the attack on the Indian embassy in San Francisco and Washington have caused concerns and fear within our community. We are here today to come together to have a conversation about how we can promote understanding, build stronger relationships, and ensure safety and security for everyone.
Community leader Ajay Bhaturia organized some peace conversations today at Falcon X Milpitas so that the community leaders, particularly from the Hindu faith, can have more assurance that going forward they will not have some threatening feelings from people of other faith. Welcome to YoIndiaTV with me, Jasleen. It was a great conversation with Department of Justice where Harpreet had joined us and each community member had an opportunity to share their feelings, their experiences and also make their suggestions for improvement. What was the key takeaway from your perspective?
I think, as speaking in my role as community leader, I think we organized this first of many peace and harmony roundtables with the community leaders. We are having a peace and harmony roundtable with Sikh community leaders tomorrow. The idea is to understand and hear communities' concerns or any fears or suggestion, and also to advance and bring together the diverse groups of communities to work together and to establish a cooperation understanding and advanced cooperation understanding and peace and harmony. So that's where the group discussed together that everybody has the right to protest peacefully and highlight their cause. Sometimes everybody has to remain within the boundaries of the law, and if there is opportunities needed for communities to train on how to protest and what are the best practices of protest and what First Amendment right grants and allows, then there are opportunities where these programs can be spread into the community. Also, there are opportunities where different groups can come together and work in a form of a leadership council and see what are areas where they can support each other in cultural programs and cultural exchanges and ideas and thoughts.
A lot of us have talked about this over the last week or so. Obviously, it was really not what that should have happened there, and ever since then we've been trying to see how do we get our arms around. And Ajay was kind enough to get Harpreet and Vincent here, and I know you guys had a number of meetings already. So the group you have here today these are the leaders in the community from Bakersfield all the way to Yuba City, and they have been there for us in need for the last 40-50 years. Anytime there's a need in the Sikh or the Indian community, it doesn't matter what the need is, these folks have all stepped up over the years. And that's why we're here today. We want to make sure we talk about some of what the underlying causes are, what the issues are, and how do we make sure, like Mr. Harpreet said and I just said a few minutes ago, start the dialogue and get the seat at the table so we can all discuss what's going on and what are some of the fixes or the opportunities we have to make sure we move forward.
Joining us today is one of the attendees who is Pushpita from Kohna, which is the Coalition of Hindu America in USA. This is a non-profit organization that raises their voice to protect Hindus living abroad, especially in the US of A. Welcome to YoIndiaTV with me, Jasleen. We saw so much of concerns by different Hindu Americans from different communities with examples of how they have felt the fear on certain occasions, particularly in their festivals and event celebrations and all. And they have also talked about how the next generation of Hindus would be impacted through these series of events which have recently occurred, including the vandalism at the Consulate General of India in San Francisco. So what's your opinion on the overall event, and What's your experience?
Thank you for having me. I'm very pleased to know that this event happened and there is an attempt to understand the issue. As members of Kohana, our only ask is that we don't get distracted by just the events. It's like when you're a doctor, you don't treat just you have to treat the disease, not just the symptoms. So I think the rash of violence that we have seen, the consulate attack, the attack on journalists, the attack on individuals, right here in Fremont, right? Krishna Nair was attacked last year. These are symptoms of the disease, and the disease is Hindu phobia, which actually unfortunately is still not recognized a lot. And I hope the Department of Justice and lawmakers and people in the police department understand the underlying cause of these, which is Hindu phobia. There is a lack of recognition of injustices when it happens on a religious basis against Hindus. Now, I'm not saying that racism doesn't happen or other stuff doesn't happen, but when we get attacked for our faith, the very folks who should help us disbelieve us or are skeptical or try to make us think that it's something else. And I think fundamentally that is the biggest problem I'd love to see attention on.
So, Inder Dosanjh, you have a very important line of business about the cards in USA, and you've been very influential in the Sikh community. What, according to you, is the reason for the violence and the hatred that we are seeing around?
I think it's frustrations. I don't think the violence is caused by the Sikh community. There are very few individuals. You can count them on one hand, no more than 3 or 4. We should not we should not throw the baby out with the water. The Sikh community and the Hindu community has amazing relationships, and we need to keep that up. And this incident shouldn't change it. At the same time, I just want to mention, there were a lot of Sikhs who haven't got the visas in years and years. And the current consulate staff has helped out a lot of the Sikh community, and they're still helping out. There was a gentleman just last week, 72-year-old. He was very sick, and he said he wanted to go to India, and that's where he wants to, have his last few months. And he didn't have a passport, and the consulate took care of him. We should not this situation should not come to violence. All of us, as whether we're a leader or we're individual, we all must talk to every person that we can. We need to stop the violence. They're not, it's like I said, it's few people. It's not the whole community. So we should not really look at the whole Sikh community that they're causing the violence. It's very few people. AJ, do you agree with me on that?
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, the Sikh community is one of the greatest community which is standing for seva, whether it's a COVID or whether it's an earthquake happening around the world or whether it's anywhere. They are on the front line, whether it's a 15th August parade, they're serving water, or they're the one who was the service is the attitude. And so few bad actors are there in every community, and those are there in Hindu, Jain, Sikh, Muslim, any community. And because of the actions of few bad actors, there should not be harassment or an malign defamation of the entire community.
One of the concerns raised today was also the caste bill that was recently introduced, and some of the other concerns, as you said, were related to Hindu phobia, but the solutions provided were making of some peace committees and getting some marshalling training, etc. And of course, each one of us should remember that 911 is the number to dial, and they should always be there to protect us. Every incident should be reported, and the Department of Justice will make further investigation and proposals so that the community will not face such fear and concern. What, according to you, was the key takeaway from the event?
Key takeaway one was really for us to make sure we come together and give a unified message on not only what the issues are, but how do we get them resolved. The way you resolve issues is really having a seat at the table. The demonstrations are good, but if you are there without understanding what the objectives are for you to be there, you'll never get any solutions because you really are not there to work anything out. So what we discussed today with Department of Justice, thank you, Ajay, for putting this meeting together, and also all the community members from Bakersfield all the way to Yuba City being here with us on a busy, bad weather wasn't all that good either. Driving in traffic and being here is really, it shows that the community cares. And it's not about Sikhs or Hindus. We are here to make sure we're unified and also holding the people responsible that should be held responsible.
As mentioned by Harpreet from Department of Justice, this was just the beginning of the dialogue. The conversations will continue, and this will help promote peace and harmony and make better solutions in the interest of the community. So thanks, Mr. Ajay Bhaturia, for putting such conversations together.
Thank you for having me.